one devil.
Major! Major! It's a cook fire, a wild wolf dog.
It's the White Lobo, all right. Shoot him.
Hey, Vet!
He's dead if you ain't been so anxious to shoot, Hasner.
Go, mount up. Finish him off. Sleeve, you didn't even draw. You object to destroying the animal?
It might be that he didn't appear as ferocious as the legend says, Major.
Well, unfortunately, he's a killer. As they call him, the White Devil of the Tetons. You can't have acquired that name by accident.
This way, Hester. Oh, no, there's movement up there in the brush. Yeah.
The Monroes is brought to you by...
Quick, look! I got one! A whopper! Come here! Look at that. A wolf. No, it's too big. A bear? Bear tracks don't have claw marks. See the claw marks? Well, whatever it is, it's hurt. That's blood. Come on, let's see where the tracks go. I don't know. A hurt bear can be mean. It's not a bear. Well, it's a big something. Anybody can see that. I'm going to find out what. You can stay here if you're scared. I ain't scared. What difference does that make? See anything? No. Well, go on. You got the stick. No, I ain't. See it? Hear that? I told you it was a wolf. That's a dog sound. It's a dog. What a whopper. Better Clayt.
straight into the water.
It's an old wolf's trick. You wade for miles in the water to throw us off the track.
You know so much. Why do you think of that before you ran us up around the bluff?
Well, losing time arguing. You follow this way, I'll follow on this side. We'll watch and see where his tracks come out of the water. We'll find him, I'm sure.
You're a regular boss man, Hasner. You know it's a wonder to me the Major hasn't made you foreman by now.
What are you talking about? There are no wild dogs around here. Just wolves.
But there isn't a wolf. It could be, though. It's fierce, Clayt. Why don't we go show you?
Where'd you see him?
Up near the creek.
Oh, he's probably gone by now.
No, he's hurt, Clayt. He's covered with blood. Not all covered, but he is bleeding some.
All right, you better hop in the wagon. I gotta drop it off home, then we'll take a look at this wild dog of yours.
Tonto's masters live at the end of the valley.
You mean the Monroes?
The Monroes. Maybe they've seen our white devil.
Well, I still think he went in the other direction.
We're so close now, it won't hurt to ask them.
All right.
See, Clayt? He's not a wolf.
How did you know that before you stuck your heads in here? Could have been torn to pieces, both of you.
What kind of dog is it, Clayt?
I don't know.
Where do you suppose he came from?
He looks big enough to have walked in from China.
Is he hurt bad?
He seems to be bleeding a lot.
Can't you do something, Clayt?
No, we won't be able to get closer than this.
Maybe we'll get used to us in a little while and let us help him.
No, he's wild. He'll be dangerous till he takes his last breath.
You mean he's dying?
I guess so, Twin. We wouldn't be able to get this close if he wasn't. Come on, let's get out of here. You two wait for me down by the creek. Well, go on, do what I said.
Clayt, don't.
Now, don't go acting like a girl. I've got to put him out of his misery.
Can't you just let him go to sleep?
He's suffering.
Well, he can't hurt anybody now. Maybe he just wants to go to sleep.
Do as I said. Wait for me by the creek. Well, I guess he's got a right to be left alone. Come on, let's go back to the cabin. Come on.
What can it do that?
Just stew.
Jim says he puts anything that crawls in a stew.
Well, the vegetables, what salt we get, doesn't crawl.
What about the deer meat that's in there?
The deer walks and runs.
But deers are pretty. Why does Clayt and Jim go out and put them in a stew?
That's something you understand in time, Amy. It's what wildlife is for out here.
Then that's the kind of stew it is. A wild stew.
Well, call it what you want. Just stay here and watch it for me, will you?
Good afternoon, Miss Kathleen.
Mr. Jackson?
This here's Art Hasner, one of the Major's new hired hands.
Mr. Hasner?
How do you do, little lady?
We're looking for a white animal, a dog. Well, at least he's part dog.
There's no dog here.
Well, we know he went into the creek. Well, he might have come by here.
I don't know anything about it, Mr. Jackson.
The stream passes through this property. Maybe you have seen him.
I have better things to do than watch the creek.
How about you, Indian? Indian, I ask you a question.
Jim's been working on the shed all morning.
Monroe? What are you doing here, Jackson?
Well, it's having to do with business for the Major.
Who's your friend?
My name is Hasner.
Mr. Hasner, this is my brother, Clayt.
Mr. Monroe, we're looking for a white lobo.
Hasner shot him, but he got away. Have you seen him? A white wolf?
No?
I didn't say a white wolf. I said a lobo.
Could be a wild dog or a wolf.
Actually, he is a dog.
How come you shot him?
Well, he raided the Major's camp.
We have an idea that he and his wolf pack have been slaughtering the little cows, fighting the herd.
I believe he's a spirit haunt. Is that right, Indian? Well, anyway, there's lots of stories about this dog. It's become quite a legend around here.
What do they say about it?
Well, when he was a little one, his owner was attacked and killed by a wolf pack. More than likely, one of the she-wolves adopted the puppy.
And when he grew to full size and strength, he challenged and killed the leader of the pack, and the wolves have followed him ever since.
We don't know that for sure, Hasner.
I know. I understand the ways of the wild dogs and the wolves.
Just like you do tracking?
You have a lot to learn about animals, Mr. Jackson. And about men.
Like you?
Like me.
Look, if it's all the same to you, we got better things to do with our time than go around looking for wild dogs. Come on, Twin, give me a hand.
Monroe, if that lobo moved in on you, he could attack your stock.
He hasn't yet. If he does, I'll stop him.
And now, better men than you have tried and failed. It might pay you to try. The Major more than likely will be offering a reward for the skin of the lobo.
The Major didn't say that, Hasner.
My stew.
Amy, I thought I told you to wash the stew. What are you doing there?
Just closing the door.
What about you, boy? You sure you haven't seen the dog?
Oh, no, sir.
Well, we've told you everything we know, hasn't it?
You know, it wouldn't hurt to keep your eye open, Monroe. That dog's always watching from the distance, waiting to steal or kill a sleeping animal.
Maybe he's just hungry, Mr. Jackson.
He's hungry. Hungry to kill.
No, I mean, maybe he's just scared of people.
How do you figure that, boy?
Because they're scared of him. You're scared of him.
What did you say?
You must be. Why else did you shoot him?
Monroe, your brother's got spunk.
If he was my boy, I'd teach him respect.
Kath and me try to teach the little ones to think for themselves. Is that all you got to say?
Well, just this. That dog's an outlaw. If you see him, finish him off.
Clayt, could you come in here, please?
It's Kathleen.
Hours of daylight left. Let's keep looking.
I have a better idea, Mr. Jackson.
What?
I think the dog is alive. I think they know where it is.
What makes you think so?
Did you see the way they were acting? Did you see the look on the boys' faces? They're hiding the dog.
Come on, Hasner. You're dreaming again. If they knew anything, they would have told us.
Oh, if I'm any judge, they're not interested in doing you any favors, Mr. Jackson.
I think we wasted enough time here. The Major will be pretty upset if we come back empty-handed.
I've always gone on my instincts. I think I can get more out of this than just a Lobo's hide.
What are you cooking up now, Hasner?
The Monroes, they're nesting on the Major's land, are they not?
Well, if it's true, it's the Major's business, not yours.
He's a very busy man. He doesn't always see the opportunities under his nose. I have an idea, and if it works, you'll be grateful to me.
Your loyalty really does impress me, Hasner.
And if you have to go back, go back. I have a trip of my own to make.
Where?
Fort Stumbao.
Stumbo. The Major's got a habit of boiling over when his men don't report back into camp.
Well, when I do return, he will change his mind. You see, unlike you, I won't always be a cowhand.
Amy.
Honestly, I don't know.
What do you know about this?
I was outside with you.
I know that. I was there. Now answer my question.
Little Twin went out to cover the tracks so Mr. Jackson and the other man couldn't find the dog.
You found that wild dog?
The twins found it.
Where?
In some brush near here. Well, what's the matter? What are you so upset about?
Why didn't you tell little Jackson?
None of his concern what we find on our land.
Well, I think you'd show a little concern over your brother. You know how he loves animals. If he goes near
The
that
dog
wild...
is dying. I don't think he's dangerous. I'd better take a look just in case. Jeff, you heard us talking about that dog. We know where he is. Come give me a hand. We gotta go get him. No. What do you mean? I might need help.
Spirit dog bad.
He's too weak to be bad. He's dying.
No die. Spirit dog, no die.
That's nonsense.
Big Twin, come back here! Jim, please.
He's been here. His tracks have been covered. Better wait here.
He's my brother. He didn't even growl, Clayt.
Like I told you, he's dying.
If you could only stop the bleeding.
What's the point? He's an outlaw.
Please, Clayt, you can do it.
Why? So Hasner and Rule Jackson can shoot at him again? I wouldn't be doing the dog a favor.
When he gets well, we could take him away. Before Mr. Jackson can find him. Turn him loose, Clayt, and then he could be free.
Jim, give me a hand to cut some of these willow boughs. We'll make a travoy to carry him on. No. Well, I can't take the bullet out here. I gotta get him back to the cabin. He's too heavy for me to drag there.
No touch spirit dog. Bad for family.
we can't just leave him here. Don't say anything, Kath. Not one word. I guess digging the bullet out was too much for him. Now, don't go blubbing, you two. I told you he was almost gone when we brought him here. It's not as though he belonged to us. He's a stray, an outlaw. Probably just as well. Anyway, I did my best.
Boys aren't blaming you.
I didn't say they were.
Here, what do you want?
Give me a hand with him, Jim. I'll take him outside.
Wait a minute, Clayt. Let's get you up yet. Clayt? I'm not sure, but I think his heart beats stronger.
Now, don't get your hopes up. He's got a long pull ahead of him.
He is going to live, isn't he?
Maybe. If he does, we don't even know if he'll tolerate us.
Jim, what do you think? You know a lot about wild animals.
Spirit dog. Never die.
Look, he opened his eyes.
What they say is true.
I know, Cat. I was thinking the same thing. When he gets his strength back, he may turn on us. And even if he doesn't, they'll still come back and want to kill him.
He didn't move at all last night. Think he's all right? I can hear his heartbeat, can't you? Not from here. Well, I can.
I can.
He's alive.
Eat your breakfast.
No sense fussing over him. Best thing we do is just let him sleep. Everybody agree?
Look, talk.
Well, they sure never expected him to get his head up this soon.
He's hungry, Clayt. Just smelling our food has made him raise his head up.
You can have my breakfast.
Mine, too.
Here, put it on my plate. I'll
Wait.
feed you.
Wait a minute. The kids have to eat. There's more in the stove for the dog.
There's no more salt pork. That dog needs meat, Cat.
I'm sure there'll be enough left over from our plate after we finished.
Aw, Kath.
I'm sorry, but you come first.
Your sister's right. Finish your meal. We'll feed him afterwards. Eat up. Well, it was a good breakfast, Cat.
Sure was, Kathy. Mine finished, too.
Clayt, I declare you're the worst child of all.
I can't eat another bite. Me neither. Me, too.
Must be catching this loss of appetite.
All right. Go ahead, feed him.
No. How's that for gratitude?
Maybe he's just a little bit scared of us yet, Clayt. Shove the plate over with this.
The Monroes will continue following station identification.
Major.
Leave. I passed some strays on my way out from the ranch. They're down by Willow Glen.
I'll send somebody down there to check on them right away.
Thank you. Jackson? I gather that you and Mr. Hasner were unsuccessful in your attempt to track down the Lobo.
Yes, sir. We followed his tracks going to Bear Creek, but he disappeared in the thin air. And we went far south as Monroe Place, but there's no sign of him.
Where is Mr. Hasner this morning?
He left, Major. As far as I know, he quit.
Quit?
Something about going to Fort Stambaugh.
Indeed. Well, if he returns, I shall pay him off and send him on his way. Too bad. He seemed like a knowledgeable fellow. But then I've been misled before. Mr. Jackson, it might be wise if you pick up the search where you left off yesterday. Take one of the men with you. We must do everything we can to track down that killer.
All right, Major. Come on with me, Ray.
Jackson. Looks like they're not giving up on the dog. And they'll come here. He'll be back.
We're down to 3 names, so we're going to vote like in a Monroe meeting. All in favor of calling him Tuffy, raise your right hand. Your right hand, silly. How about Caesar? You ain't know who Caesar was.
Well, neither do you.
I do so. He was a man who wore leaves in his hair and made war on everybody. How about Snow? I'm for calling him Snow.
Me, too.
And it's settled. His name's Snow. Wait a minute. Let's see if he likes it. Snow? Snow?
You boys done your chores? Go do 'em. Amy, play outside.
Hey, why'd you chase him out?
We're giving him a name.
Is that so terrible?
It's like he was already part of the family. Listen to that. There's no telling when he may turn on one of us.
He doesn't growl at the children. Or at me.
What does that mean?
Just that he's afraid of grown men. Maybe he was beaten by a man. After all, it was the man who shot him.
Well, I wouldn't hurt him.
He doesn't know that.
We got to do something before we get any deeper. I just saw Rule Jackson and another Mapoy hand riding by. They're out looking for him.
If they knew, they'd be on our doorstep right now. They were probably looking for some Mapoy cattle.
Maybe, but they got to find out sooner or later.
Well, we'll worry about that when it happens.
You mean I will?
That dog's got you more spooked than he has Jim.
With good reason, Cat. Seems to me I'll either have to fight to save the dog or fight the dog to save my family. Here.
I hope you're worth all this trouble.
You boys get all those cattle gathered?
Everything's good.
Good. Hi, Major. Expected you a little earlier.
I decided to get the herd count from the east camp on my way in. I shall have to work you tonight on the inventory list. Get it ready for London. You have your count, I presume?
Yes, sir. Just happen to have it.
Good, thank you.
Got something else you'll be interested in, too.
Uh-huh.
Hassner came back in just as unexpected as he left.
Get him. Bring him to my tent.
All right. Mr. Hassner, the Major wants to see you.
Good day, Major.
Mr. Hasner, when a man comes to work for me, I do not expect him to leave my employ without notice or authorization.
Oh, I apologize for that, but I'm sure you'll forgive my absence. When you read this here piece of paper,
What is it?
it's a contract from the quartermaster at Fort Stumbo.
Contract?
Yes, you and we will crossbreed wild Wyoming stock with Army stallions. The Army pays a great price for the resulting Mustangs. All I need is your co-signature.
We are to be partners, then, I take it.
Yeah, partners. You see, unlike the others, I wasn't meant to be a cowhand all my life.
Ambition is an admirable thing, Mr. Hasner. But why did you not take this arrangement to a horse breeder?
Ah, good point, Major. No, the operation needs controlled conditions. I need a section of valley land with plenty of grass where the brood mares can easily be guarded.
I take it that you have such a spot in mind.
Of course. The nurse's place, Bear Valley.
Monroes' place? Would you have me run them off?
You're a businessman. I'm offering you the lion's share of a big opportunity.
You're a very good negotiator, Mr. Hasner. These are excellent terms. However, I am not interested.
Why not?
I don't like the idea of running off the Monroes. But even more, I dislike dealing with unscrupulous opportunists like yourself.
But I'm offering you a business proposition, not a friendship.
My answer is no.
I think you'll change your mind when you find out who's hiding that white Lobo.
Oh?
Monroe. He's trying to make a lapdog of that white killer.
Somehow or another, I just don't believe that, Major.
I shall check whether Monroe has the dog, Mr. Hasner. But only to take the dog, not to profit from it.
But I'm offering you a big opportunity for both of us to make money.
I should like you off my property, Mr. Hasner.
Major.
Good day, sir.
There's someone coming. Get that dog out of sight.
Slave, you looking for someone else?
What do you mean?
The last time I saw a look on a man's face like that was at a hanging. The rope broke. Major Mapoy sent me, Clayt. There's talk about you harboring that white Lobo.
Who says so? Rule Jackson?
I ain't sweating you, son. Whatever you do on your property, that's your business. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone else in their property.
All right. What else?
We got reason to believe that dog has caused lots of damage.
I know. I've heard the stories. Nobody's got any proof, though. Seems to me if they treated him with some kindness instead of shooting at him all the time.
It won't work. Even if you could tame him, there'd be some people still say he was wild.
I guess.
You care for this valley, your cabin, your family?
What kind of a question is that?
It's a gut question, son. Survival is the first law of the wilderness. Sometimes to survive, a man has to give up a lot. Now, if I were you, I wouldn't make an enemy out of the Major. It'll cut your odds in half, keeping your family here. I don't see that dog around any place. That's what I'm going to tell the Major.
Thank you, Slade. of you two is going to have to put this rope around him.
No, you're going to take him away, and we'll never see him again.
I've got no choice, Twin. Do you want to see him shot again? Well, do you?
No.
Then he's got to go. It's for his safety as well as ours.
You two heard what Slee said to Clayt. The dog's a danger to himself and us.
Well, couldn't Clayt go talk to the Major and tell him that Snow's tame?
Nobody's going to take a chance on an outlaw.
But he's not an outlaw.
I know that, but it's what they think that counts. Now listen to me. You remember when Snow was dying, you two practically begged me to bring him home? You said that when he got well, we could turn him loose again so he could be free. Well, that time has come. Now, you put that rope around his neck. I'll wait for you outside.
Sometimes it's terribly hard to do the right thing for someone you love. But you do it.
The sun will be up in a couple of hours. Do you think this is far enough?
This is nothing, Spirit Dog.
He's just a dog. Go on and get out of here. Go on! I said get here! You heard what I said. Get here! You asked for it.
Good morning, Major.
You lose your way, Mr. Hasner?
Well, no, I had every intention of clearing off your territory until I witnessed this.
What are you there?
Yes, sir. The white Lobo did it. I saw him frighten off the mother cow and run the little cow down. I fired a few shots after him, but he was out of range. He headed straight for the nester's cabin.
The claw marks could be those of the Lobo. Sleeve, you said you saw no sign of the dog at Monroes' place. I hope you have not let sentiment cloud your good judgment.
I didn't see him there, Major.
You say you saw the white dog head straight for the nester's place. That does not necessarily mean that he went there.
Oh, Major, the nesters had the dog since the very first meeting. The tracks practically went to the door. You should have seen their faces when we questioned them. You'd have known it yourself. And one more thing. Have you ever seen a wild animal after being shot at head straight for a place where he knew there was people? I saw it. The rest is up to you, Major.
Very well. I shall ride over and see whether Monroe has the dog. But you're going with me, Mr. Hasner, because if you're wrong, if you have done any of this for your own motives, you may have cause to regret it.
Maybe I better saddle up and go with you, huh, Major?
You have a herd to attend to. I'm certain I can handle this. Monroe? You know Mr. Hasner?
I know him.
He says that he saw the great white dog bring down one of my calves, and that the dog now belongs to you.
There's no dog here, Major.
Not quite sure?
The dog's in the cabin till I run him out, Major.
You go in my cabin when I invite you.
Mr. Monroe, your defiance would seem to indicate an admission of guilt.
The dog's not here, Major.
You're a liar, Mr. Monroe.
I told you the dog's not here.
Sit fast, Mr. Hasner. Young man, if the dog is here, I shall know of it eventually. Think about that. Don't jeopardize what little security you found here.
Even if he was here, Major, why are you so anxious to kill him?
Because he's been slaughtering my calves.
I don't think Snow ever killed a calf in his life. That's just a wild story that got out of hand.
I saw him pull down a young cow.
When?
Last night.
Last night, Snow was on the end of a rope miles from the Major's herd. You can ask Jim. We rode all night. We run him clean out of the valley.
You see, Major?
He's come back, Clayt.
You overgrown Jonah! You had to come back. You called it, Jim. Distance doesn't mean a thing to him.
Spirit dog right on wind.
How do you explain this, Mr. Monroe?
Major, we rode all night. We took that dog 20 miles away from here. Clear to the base of the Tetons. It couldn't have been Snow that killed your calf. That's the truth.
You can't believe that, Major.
I can show you the footprints where we let him go.
Perhaps you were mistaken, Mr. Hasner.
Well, maybe it wasn't the White Lobo. He was after dark. It could have been the Gray Wolf.
Miss Monroe, I suggest you take the children indoors.
What for?
The dog has got to be destroyed.
Well, why? He didn't kill your calf.
Perhaps not last night, but he is still a potential source of danger, and you show very poor judgment in not facing that fact.
Listen, Major. Judgment or no judgment, that dog walked an awful long way just to get back to us. Now, he wouldn't have done that if he was wild. You can't shoot him.
Mr. Hasner.
I guess he just got sick of people shooting at him.
Major, if a child can control him, he can't be as bad as you say.
Miss Monroe, you're saying that we should spare his life?
I'm saying you should give him a chance.
The dog's a killer. You saw him go for my throat.
Mr. Hasner, I believe you are leaving my employ. I advise you to resume your journey immediately. Monroe, if that dog ever causes me any more trouble, I shall do the job myself. Do you understand? I shall hold you responsible.
Thank you, Major.
I am not at all sure that I'm doing you a favor. Good day.
Guys, bro! Look at the kid here!
Get the kids down for the night?
Sound asleep.
Good. Jim, stack this wood for me, will you?
You still think he's a wild dog, Jim?
I don't know, Cat.
What do you mean?
Oh, maybe he is wild. Maybe he'll never change.
Sometimes family life takes a bit of getting used to.
I know that, but there's a lot of wilderness out there calling to him.
Maybe like Jim, he'll come and go. He's a free soul.
Come on. There he is, Cat. White devil of the Tetons.